Hi everyone, my name is Jenny and welcome back to my creative space. I originally started vlogging on Sunday and I'll let you see those clips of me introducing the vlog, and I had very excitedly decided that I was going to participate in summerween, even though I originally didn't plan to participate in summerween. But I had seen all of my friends participating. I had just finished the live show for Literally Dead Book Club with Kayla and Stephanie, and I think I was just riding off this high of being like, reading books are so fun, discussing books with friends is so fun. Let me decide to join this readathon. And I had a bunch of horror books that I wanted to read anyway. And, why not? Why not join the readathon fun? I know why. I originally planned to not join Summerween, and the biggest thing is, for some reason, when I am part of a readathon, I have zero motivation to read. I'll let you see past me. I will introduce the books that I am currently reading, and you can see me be super, super excited about Natural Beauty. I wasn't planning on participating in Summerween Readathon that's hosted by Gabby Reads here on YouTube, but a lot of my friends have been sharing the books that they've been reading for Summerween, and I've also just been in a horror reading mood. And so I thought, what a perfect week to just read all the horror reads that I've been wanting to read ever since I finished my Reading Out of My Comfort Zone vlog. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to follow all of the prompts that Gabby had set up. I know in her video she had said that you don't have to follow the prompts, you can just read horror in general, and that just might be what I do because I've had a few books that have been on my to read list and I just want to get through those since I think horror is my hyperfixation at the moment. So on the first day of Summerween, I believe it was Friday, was when the readathon started. I finished This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. It's much more of a grief horror, and I think the only other grief horror I had read prior was Monstrilio, and I feel like this book really did a good job with encapsulating what grief is like. In This Thing Between Us, we are following Thiago, and he recently lost his wife. We are following him trying to move through his grief and seeing how his life will pan out. And he thinks that this machine called Itza, which is almost like an Alexa in this book, he thinks that it is responsible for the death of his wife. So there's a little bit of a mystery element trying to unravel his wife's death, but overall it is a book that discusses grief and the loss of a spouse. So if those are like hard topics for you, do keep that in mind. Oh my gosh. The book just encapsulates grief in a way that I have not experienced in writing before. Like, I don't think I'm eloquent enough of a speaker to even explain how it makes me feel, but I feel like I just want to like scratch the walls and like gnaw on something because it makes me feel so like feral in grief. The description of losing somebody you love is just unmatched, honestly. It was just so well done. His internal monologues of being like, these people who are grieving my wife are making her out to be this person that she wasn't, and like they're doing it in such a way to comfort themselves and like kind of solidified their relationship with my wife, and almost in a way making my loss their loss. And it's like, you will never lose this person the way I lost this person. And it's just so like, Gus, who hurt you, Gus? Because it is just so palpable in this book. And originally I gave it like a 4, but now that I've sat on it since Friday, I think it's like a 4.5. And then the book that I'm currently reading, I started last night, is Natural Beauty by Ling Huang. I would say like a piano prodigy, and she is no longer playing piano and she's working like this dishwashing job trying to make ends meet when she suddenly is asked to work at this beauty company called Holistic. And we're kind of navigating her being like lost in life and not knowing what direction to go because, she's not playing piano anymore and that was so much of her life. I'm 10 chapters in, I'm on page 62, but already on chapter 3, when we are really getting the dynamics between her and her parents, it just makes me want to sob. Like, full on bawl my eyes out. It just encapsulates my feelings as like an Asian daughter with two parents who like have been so supportive and loving, and like wanting to give them the world, but also like this dynamic of being like, I also have to be my own person, and the like grief of not knowing if you're ever able to give your parents exactly what you think they deserve. I'm sending Ling Ling Huang my therapy bill because um it's just a lot. In a beautiful way. Like the writing in this is so beautifully done, and like just the Asian girl horror just really hits for me. It's really doing something. So I'm going to continue reading this and let you know my thoughts and opinions. I know my friend Steph from Stephanie Bookish asked me to buddy read Vera Wong's Unsolicited. Is it Vera Wong? Yeah. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. So I have that on audio. I'm going to be buddy reading with her for the rest of the week. And I will see you when I make more progress into Natural Beauty. Again, I stopped at chapter 10 and haven't picked up Natural Beauty at all since. If I'll be honest, I think I had said it in that intro clip, that original intro clip, that I'm really afraid of what's gonna happen in here. I saw Erin from Booked and Busy read this, and she was talking about like the sexual content in here, and it's not like silly, goofy, fun sexual content. It's a horror book. And I think for me, sexual content in horror really terrifies me. Like, that's probably number one up there, besides like things that happen to children. And so I'm not entirely sure how intense it gets. There is one scene that I don't think that I'm going to repeat on my channel that she explained to us, and I was like, why did nobody talk about that? And I'm not sure when that happens, so I think that's what's made me scared to pick it up, because I'm like, is it weird or like, I think that's really horrific. Like, I don't even think it's like a weird girl thing. I think it's like, I'm scared. I'm genuinely scared. So this has been a book that I am tentatively thinking that it'll be like a 4 or 5 star, but it's a 4 or 5 star that is scaring me to read. So I'm still reading this. I'm just reading this much slower. And then I've also, on that Monday, I agreed to buddy read Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers with Stephanie. And I have that audiobook, and that one's a silly, goofy time. It's a mystery. The tonality of it is so much more fun, much less serious than Natural Beauty is. But thus far, I think I'm 20% into Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice, and this kind of gives me the same feelings that I have with Veronica Speedwell. It is so silly and so goofy, and like, despite the topic of Vera Wong finding a dead body in the middle of her tea shop, it is just so wholesome and heartwarming. And she finds this dead body in her tea shop, and she kind of puts out like this thing in the newspaper to try to catch people to come into her tea shop that she suspects of murdering the person who's dead in her tea shop. And she does all this because she's like, the cops aren't going to do their job right, so I'm going to do it for them. And it is just so funny because it's like, she is like, I gotta be there with the people. I'm tech savvy. I go on Reddit. I know what BuzzFeed is. Like, if there's a new thing that I don't know, I'm gonna Google search that. I'm gonna go on Reddit. I'm gonna go on TikTok. I'm gonna search these things because the way to keep myself, up and healthy and young is if I understand younger generation, and I love that for her. And so I think this is the perfect book for me to read in tandem with Natural Beauty because, like, genuinely terrified, and then on the other end, I'm like giggling and laughing. Yeah, other than that, I wanted to reintroduce this messy vlog that I have going on because I didn't want to continue the format of a summerween vlog because I just knew that I would end up not reading at all. And just doing a casual vlog for some reason puts off a lot of pressure for me. So that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna just follow me for the rest of the week while I read. And I'll update you when I want to update you. And I won't make any promises because thus far I've kept none of those. And I want to be a woman of my word. So, update. It is the next day, and I actually took work off today because I've just not been feeling really well, and I decided let's take the day off, go to the doctor's, and see what's going on. And since I had so much time, I decided to do my nails. Oh, I'm so happy with it. I was inspired by Monet's water lilies, and this is like a nail design I've been wanting to do for so long, but it obviously takes time to like put in the layers and whatnot. But as I was doing my nails, I decided to read Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. And I'm about 80% into the book. I just love when an author can write characters who are just so lovable. We have 4 people who are on Vera's suspect list, and she's just like getting to know them. And like as she's getting to know them, they're having like these wholesome like dinners where she's like cooked all these meals, and she's cooked specific things that she thinks will be beneficial to the person. And she is so kind and thoughtful, and like despite her trying to investigate these people thinking potentially they are the murderer in this mystery, she still treats them with so much kindness and warmth. I don't know, that says so much about who she is as a character, but also about the kind of kindness and warmth she herself lacks in her own life. So she's trying to provide that to other people who she sees lacks. And it just squeezes at my heart. I will say the actual mystery of it all is interesting, and I'm genuinely like, did somebody actually murder this man, or was this all in Vera's head? She just wanted to be like in people's business. And I just think, despite it being like a mystery and someone having died in her tea shop, it just feels so quaint and so homely, and I really, really enjoy this book. My main focus is finishing Vera Wong today, and I think maybe I will pick up Natural Beauty again. Maybe use the audiobook and, color or something. Do something that off balances the horrific nature that I'm about to walk in. But I think it's just so interesting how opposite spectrums Vera Wong and Natural Beauty are. The content switch will definitely be a lot, and it will probably make Natural Beauty more horrific. So it might have not been a good choice, but it was a choice I made, so I'm going to have to deal with it. Hi, good morning, friends. I am just getting ready for the day, and I wanted to update you on my reading. So last night I actually ended up finishing Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. It's such a long title, I always mix up the words. Did I leave you off at like the 80% mark or something like that? But the reveal at the end or towards the end of the book actually genuinely shocked me. And I kind of wanted to cry a little bit because I was so shocked at the reveal. I was like, Jesse Q. Satanto, I did not know you were going to deliver like that. It was, wow. Jesse, are you serious? And she was serious. And I was just like, wow. What a book. I think that this book was just cozy mystery perfection. And I think what Jesse Q. Sotanto does really well with this narrative is the perspective shift and change really helps you invest in all of these side characters. It is a bit of a found family, and so the character shift that happens, the shift in perspective that happens, I think is so well done in order to kind of lay out the groundwork of each character in the story, but she doesn't do it in a way that obstructs from the narrative. It is so well divided and paced out that I feel like we know the characters so well. And I am just so amazed. There are so many scenes where she's really investing in these complete total strangers, and she can see the good in these people, and all of the four characters she thinks are suspects have their own questions of their value in life and society and things like that, and she kind of steps up as this loving grandmother figure and tells them you are capable of so much more than what your fears and what society and what other people made you think about yourself. And I think it is filled with so much comfort and wisdom, and I don't know, I wasn't expecting that in a cozy mystery. I just assumed that it was going to be this fun, silly, goofy murder mystery investigation, and it was just this older protagonist just being in people's business, and it be a fun time. But there were moments in this where Vera is connecting with these people, and she has this very wise motherly advice that she gives to all these people, and in the end she is someone who also needs someone to validate and comfort her, and it's so much more emotional than I expected it to be, and it just makes me want to grab my mother and my grandmother and give them a big squishy hug, because it's wow. I love Asian women. I really enjoy that book. I highly recommend it. It just has such great character work, such great pacing. The cozy, fun, silly vibes are just so well done, and it's not done in a cheesy, cringy way. The actual mystery of it is so well laid out, so well paced, and it was a shocking reveal to me. So please do pick that up. Okay, and with that, I will also update you on Natural Beauty. I am probably the 50% mark. I will say that it's starting to get a little creepy. It was creepy in the very initial beginning because she starts working at this kind of cult beauty place called Holistic, and they have these really like transformative beauty products and regimes that like they have like a mascara that just rapidly grows your lashes. And there's like a scene where she's like, I can almost imagine that I can hear my lashes growing. Like all of these like very strange beauty procedures that are done using like worms and all sorts of things. And it's like one of those where you're like, I know that there's something very off and very strange about these things that you're putting yourself through, but I don't know exactly what the reveal is. I just know that it's going to be really freaky. Chapter 10 does have like a weird sexual moment. Very weird. I think the weird part about it is that it's a super casual scene. Like, could this be considered a spoiler? I don't like. It's just this scene where it's not like a sexy time scene. Like she goes to like one of the rooms because her manager's like, you're really stressed, go get this procedure done and you can go back to work after this procedure is finished. And basically she's like strapped to this chair and she's supposed to have a release, if you will. But the chair is broken, and so the lady who's like operating the chair has to help her out. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here, right? Like, but the way it's written is so casual. Very casual. Very strange, very weird. Yeah. And then she just gets up. She's like, and then the lady's like, sorry, our chair was broken, so I had to help you out, right? And then she's like, yeah, no problem. And she just goes about her workday. And I'm like, girl, am I the only one in the room who thinks that's weird? Like, why were you, why? Why was that written? It was, I mean, I understand why it was written, right? But it was weird. Weird. Weird, very weird, very strange, very uncomfy. She's just like, oh, it's another one of those things that you do for work. I'm gonna just roll with it. And I'm like, just gonna roll with everything that's going on here that's like really weird and strange. And mind you that I had stopped at the beginning of chapter 10. And so, you know, jumping back into the book post Vera Wong and reading that scene, I was like, I gotta go back to Miss Vera Wang's world famous tea shop because this is a little too much for little old me, you know? There have been more reveals about like characters and like you're slowly getting to see the very sinister and creepy side of this business. And I am genuinely really interested to see what the reveals are. Thus far, I would say for all the weird girl horror that I've read, Bloom is a kind of like, what the kind of energy. Chlorine is kind of like a kind of energy. The eyes are the best part is kind of like a what the energy, and this one is like a what the kind of energy. You know, like I don't know necessarily how to put that into words, but like, you know, I think from my tone, you would understand. I am optimistic that I will be able to finish this book today. And, you know, I know that there's another weird sexual scene waiting to find me in these pages soon. So I guess I'll update you on that. Would you consider it a spoiler if I told you about those? Like I don't think the chair is necessarily that big of a plot point, so I don't think it's a spoiler. But if you do, sorry. I had to tell somebody. I had to tell somebody, and I'm not going to tell my mother. I'm not going to put her through that. So if you're already watching and you know that I'm reading this book, you and I both know what we signed up for. So I'm telling you because I don't find it appropriate to tell my Asian mother about this woman and her experience in that chair. This is so weird. Like, it's so weird. But I just want to know, like, how are you making up these plot points? Like, how did you sit in the draft? I was like, yeah, I'm going to create a chair that these gals get strapped up into. Yeah. I think the thing that's horrific about natural beauty is the fact that everyone is so casual about it. And I mean, like, that's how cults are, right? Like, it's pretty casual. You get sucked in and they kind of tell you to do something and you slowly just like, it's like a foot in the door kind of thing. And you just go along with it. And like, you're not sure, like, everybody else seems to be going along with it. So you don't protest or go against whatever. It's like a group think. You do what everybody else does. And like, that is a horrific aspect in it and of itself. But it's like how casual the main character is being. Like, she's not even questioning some of these things. She's just like, that's what you do when you're clocked in. And I'm like, okay, you are definitely the prime gal to get into a cult. Love that for you. But yeah, that was me getting ready. I am ready to be terrified and horrified by natural beauty, so I will update you when the real horror gets to me. Hello, everybody. I finished Natural Beauty, and so I wanted to do a final check-in for this read. What the absolute hell did I read? Okay, so the reason why I picked up Natural Beauty is because this is one of Steph's favorite books of the year, and then I also saw that Erin picked it up, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna see, because, you know, I'm in my little horror mood right now. I wanted to check out another horror written by an Asian woman, and I just want to know wholeheartedly how horror writers come up with the ideas that they come up with. Because it's just out of this world. And like the sexual things that I was talking about, like, I did tell you what happened in the first scene, but the second one, it was just like, I think the wild part about this entire reading experience is just how casual our main character speaks on her experiences in this like cult. And she's just like, yeah, that was something that happened, and I went with it, and here I am now. I'm probably sitting between like a 4, 4.5, maybe a 5. I don't know. I can't tell. With like horror books, I have to let it sit in my mind for a few days, and this one specifically, I'm not entirely sure how to even speak about this. It's hard for me to recommend horror to people of this nature because it is so weird. Wow. Like, I don't I don't even know how to describe how I'm feeling about this, to be honest. Or one of the main things that I really enjoy about this read is the fact that it is so beautifully written. Like, there are just moments that I had to tab and highlight and just read that section over and over again because of just how exquisitely beautiful this feeling of gratitude, of repayment, of grief, of sorrow, of self acceptance and understanding that like this author writes about. And just as like an Asian girl reading the experience that our main character has with her parents and like her the way she is willing to do so much to repay her parents for so many things that she is grateful for because she feels like her language just does not accumulate to how much she loves and adores her parents is just so. Yeah, I think that is the huge part of this book that I really enjoy. But obviously, it also critiques like the beauty industry and like what we are willing to sacrifice in order to hold beauty. And like it discusses how beauty is in and of itself a show of power that women have in our society. And I think those points were so poignant and so well done, and the discussion of that is so well done. And like the final reveal of things and the climax of the book, um, it just further drives home that criticism. I think as of right now, that is where I'm going to end this vlog. I actually have my quarterly wrap up that I have to edit that I'm not looking forward to. Honestly, I think I'm looking more forward to editing this vlog. And so this vlog might come up before the quarterly wrap up. We'll see how I feel. I've made it to the end of this vlog. Thank you so much for being here and watching my video and being along for the ride for my horror journey. I will say that both of the books that I read this week have been a win, so I'm really glad that I had a positive reading vlog for you. Put a comment down below if you participated in Summerween. I kind of had a little bit of a failed Summerween, as we know, but I want to know what your favorite read is if you participated, and if you don't have anything else to say, you can put a needle emoji in the comments. I'm pretty sure there's a needle for natural beauty. And I thank you again so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye!